Welcome back, Truth Seeker. November 1st, 2018. It was requested that I look into the death of Danye Jones, the son of Melissa McKinney's. He was found dead beneath a tree October 17th, this year, 2018, in St. Louis County, Missouri, not far from where Michael Brown died August 9th, 2014. And his mother, Melissa McKinney's, was one of the protesters who got national attention. The police are saying they believe that Danye Jones hung himself in a tree and committed suicide. Melissa McKinney's is saying, no way, my son was murdered. And the family's wondering why this story isn't getting any national attention. So, I'm going to show you what jumps out to me. In case you weren't here in 2014, the first YouTube video I ever did was on what the name Gematria would be of the police officer Darren Wilson who gunned down Michael Brown, what his name Gematria would be before the media released it. My very first video I ever made was a prediction to show the relevance of Gematria. And I said, just watch when they release the name of this officer, because it took like a week after the news for his name to come out, and they put it out with this image, which we'll talk more about. I said, just watch. When they release his name, it'll sum to 33. And sure enough, it came out and his name was Darren Wilson. And the reason I knew it would sum to 33 is because that's the number that all of these federal race-based operations are conducted by. Orders 33, federals 33, secrecy's 33, masonry's 33, police is 33, Darren, the name of the officer, Darren Wilson, Darren 33, and here we are in the lone month that sums to 33, October, and we get the death of this young man, Danye Jones. And back when I started this research, I only knew two ciphers. I just knew the alphabetic order and the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. Other things I showed at the time was KKK, you know, the white sheets, they equal 33, K is the 11th letter, and the term race war equals 33. And think about the beating of Rodney King on March 3rd. That's also the same day they buried Trayvon Martin. Trayvon Martin buried on March 3rd. His dad is a 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason. And again, this number is important to Freemasonry. It's why it's important to the federal government and police, because they are run by Freemasonry. Of course, the federal government's in Washington, D.C., named after the 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason George Washington. The headquarters are there, the House of the Temple for Freemasonry for all of North America. The House of the Temple has 33 pillars on the outside, each 33 feet tall. So anyway, in case you weren't here back then, that's how it all began on this channel. Picked up a lot of subscribers right off the bat because people were intrigued. They said, oh, wow, okay, you were right. And I've been right about a million more times since. So the other thing is, you know, the killing of Michael Brown happened in Ferguson, Missouri, two towns with 42 Gematria. And when you think of 42 in black history, you probably think of Jackie. Just yesterday in the news, the death of Willie McCovey, 42 weeks after his birthday. And 42 is this number that's coded all over black history. Slavery equals 42, the N-word 42, February 42, history 42, Martin 42, Malcolm X 42, bus 42, and a whole lot more. You know, check out the sitcom Martin. He lives in apartment number 42. But notice when they put out the picture of this officer, Darren Wilson, with the blonde hair and the blue eyes, they had him wearing a shirt that said Blues Hockey. Of course, St. Louis Blues right there. But they made sure to have the number 42 on it. It's all part of the sick joke, something they do again and again. Once you see something about Rodney King here. Rodney King was born on April 2nd. He died in history supposedly from drowning on the day that would become the Charleston church shooting, another race war incident by the numbers. But Rodney King, born on April 2nd, 4-2, right? And in Gematria, with just the ciphers we knew back then, we noticed that Rodney King summed to 59. And the reason that mattered is because using the alphabetic order, Negro was 59, Slave was 59, Blues was 59. And then you get this t-shirt with Darren Wilson, number 42, Blues. You see how they did that? Look it up, Motown. Detroit on the 42nd parallel, Motown Records came out in 59. Not an accident. They pair these numbers together all the time. If you learn the reverse alphabetic order, you'll notice that HIV is 42. And look at this right here. HIV, Belgian Congo. They say that HIV was discovered in the Belgian Congo. Where's the CNN article? In the 90s, this was the breaking news at the time. Researchers trace first HIV case to 1959 in Belgian Congo. 59. Belgian Congo? What's up with Belgian Congo? Sums to 59. Been doing the same things all throughout history. You know? So anyway, just a little backstory there as we move through this. Talking about the death of Danye Jones, whose mother protested the Michael Brown killing. And by the way, the other thing you need to know about the Michael Brown killing is Darren Wilson didn't really gun down anybody because Michael Brown doesn't even exist. He was a plastic doll which is on display at a Chicago museum to this day. It was just a race war incident by the numbers. Manufactured propaganda to divide the nation. They don't leave dead bodies in the middle of streets for 8 hours, and you can go back and watch the footage from that day. When they did take away Michael Brown's body, they loaded it into the back of a police SUV because it was a plastic dummy, not a real person. Real dead bodies don't go in the back of police SUVs, and you can look up all this. I used to have videos on my old channel showing it all, which has been deleted. So Michael Brown, a completely contrived incident by the numbers, but that's what's important. Contrived or not, it still serves the same purpose. It gets people angry, it gets them riled up. Recall how they had the racial riots there afterwards, and CNN was there to document it all even before it began. Wish my old channel was up. Used to have it all. So anyway, regarding the death of this young man, his last name was Jones, like Michael Brown's last name was Brown, and he died October 17th. Make sure I got the article here so you can see this. October 17th was the day he died. 10 plus 17 is 27. In Gematria, the name Brown, 27. The name Jones, 27. Notice the overlap with Brown and Jones. They both have the 63 and the 72 as well. We're going to come back to that 63 in a moment. 72 is the reflection of 27. The date numerology. Again, 27, also a date with 45 numerology. And look at the Gematria of racism. 27 and 45. Ritual, 27 and 45. All of these things are rituals. Rituals with a purpose. Divide and conquer. That's the Masonic motto. Divide and conquer, order out of chaos. This is how they operate. With regards to it being the 17th, don't forget the word kill equals 17. This young man was killed on the 17th and not by his own hands, which the police are trying to blame it as. Who do you think killed this young man? I wouldn't be surprised if this young man was really killed. Michael Brown was a dummy, but the police do kill people. It's why the band The Police put out the song Murder by Numbers in 83, where murder equals 83. Here's what else stood out to me. From the date of Michael Brown's death, August 9th, 2014. By the way, the reason this happened on August 9th, well, there's a number of reasons for the date, but one of them is 8/9's like 89, which is the 11th Fibonacci number. The word black in our most pure cipher, the dark blue one, is 11. 89, the 11th Fibonacci number. Racial propaganda, the killing of a young black man with the last name Brown. Anyway, from his death to the death of this man, Danye Jones, 1,531 days. What's up with that number is it's the 242nd prime number. 242. And this young man who was killed is 24 years old. 24. 24, the reflection of 42. Notice also the 218 weeks because that's a number that connects to death. It's another number that shows up a lot of times in these ritual killings. So here he is. You know, this doesn't look like the type of guy who's going to commit suicide. Young man, you can tell he's got a good mind. Look at his little quote here. Dress like JFK, speak like Hemingway, work like Ralph Lauren, party like Gatsby. You know, that's a clever man right there. Uh-oh. Okay, I thought I was going to have to pick up my girlfriend for a second. She says she's coming home with her classmate. That means her classmate's spending the night again. That means I got to make dinner for everybody. All right. Anyway, here's what else jumps out about this. It looks like Brittany Packett might be a family member. I don't know. But in this mainstream article, they get her tweet in here about this. There's been very little mainstream coverage of Danye Jones' killing, so we have to tell the story. Say his name, Danye Jones. And notice she used the Rest in Power. That's from the Jay-Z show that just came out about the Trayvon Martin killing, as well as the Michael Brown death and a number of other related stories. Sandy Bland. Anyway, rest in power, that phrase sums to 63. Forwards and backwards. The name Jones is 63. The word racism is 63. I talk about this number all the time. It wasn't an accident that the U.S. federal government reopened the Emmett Till case 63 years after the killing of Emmett Till. This number shows up all the time in purposefully coded racism. The story's all about racism. The young man had the surname with the gematria to match. Now, Rest in Power, the show put out by Jay-Z, the Freemason, who's connected to a number of ritual murders we've covered in the past. His show came out July 30th, right? July 30th. Hold up, let me see something real quick. October 17th leaves 75 days left in the year. That's the Order Out of Chaos number. I just noticed this. July 30th, 2018, 7 plus 30 plus 20 plus 18, that's a date with 75 numerology, right? 75. This young man's dead on the day, leaving 75 days left in the year. Order Out of Chaos, the Masonic motto, it's got those numbers. So that's interesting, but also from that day to his murder is 79 days later. Big murder number. What are the odds? If you counted the full span of days, it would be 2 months and 18 days, like 218 as well. Jay-Z. If you look up this Rest in Power show, every episode is 42 minutes. What else is interesting is the woman up here who leaves the comment, Brittany Packett. Her surname, Packett, has this gematria 27 and 45, like ritual and racism, like the date numerology. What else is interesting is the young man's name, Danye Jones, has gematria of 158, like Freemasonry as well. Again, Jay-Z's a Mason. These Masons, they kill their own in rituals. Also, her thing about say his name. There's a phrase you don't want to use. Remember, these are spelling. Say his name. We've seen this in a lot of the Black Lives Matter protests. Black Lives Matter has the racist numbers coded all over it too. But say his name, 42. Freemason also 42. Freemasonry is responsible for this code. This death was in St. Louis, Missouri, 67, like Melissa McKinney, 67, like Blood Sacrifice, 67. And, the name Danye has the gematria of 86, the other Blood Sacrifice number. But those are the main things. I couldn't find the birthday of Melissa McKinney's or Danye Jones, so I couldn't measure from the birthday. If that information's out there, I'd appreciate it if you left it in the comments. I'm going to close this video up right now to see if it uploads without issue. The last video I did, YouTube really tampered with it, and it seems that the shorter videos, they don't mess with as much. So appreciate all you guys tuning in. I'll be looking in the comments to see if anybody can come up with their birthdays. Black Oasis, if you got questions about the Red Heifer series, watch all the videos I did. I mean, I can't imagine any questions are left after what I did. All right, you guys, I want to answer your questions, but just after the last video, which is still being screwed with, I just want to cut this one short. I'll be back soon enough, don't worry. If you got questions, leave them in the comments. I'll find them. And I'll check my email. All right, truth seekers. Until next time.